Greetings everybody and welcome to Madrid Ball. I hope you all are safe and sound. Today in this video we will be having a look at the strongest Real Madrid 11 for the season, and then we are going to weigh the squad against our rivals. Now going forward, this video will mainly analyze how good our rivals are, how have they strengthened, with the new arrivals how are they going to set up, and finally we'll conclude this video by discussing if Real Madrid have enough ammunition to fire us to glory. So we have a lot to discuss, and let's get started. Firstly, let's have a look at the strongest Real Madrid starting 11. This, of course, is from my point of view, and here, while choosing the best 11, we are considering that all the players would be fit and available for Ancelotti. It's a bit of a hypothetical scenario, but considering the players we have, we can put up a good fight. Starting with the goalkeeper position, we can be pretty much sure about who would be standing in between the sticks. Thibaut Courtois, the Belgian wall, will walk straight into the starting 11. No disrespect here to Andre Lunin. He was admirable during the preseason friendly, but Courtois, we know he's just a world-class keeper, proven at the highest level. He has the experience of coming up with amazing saves in the biggest of games, and you consider what Courtois did last year. There were many times when Courtois was single-handedly keeping us alive in many games. In the process, he also won a few Man of the Match awards. So what we would expect from Courtois is to maintain the same level, if not better, and that is why he happens to be the first selection in the side. And now if we come to the defense, this is an area that I am a bit skeptical about, not because of who would be the starting defenders, but because we do not have enough depth in that department, especially at the center. At this moment, we just have 3 centre-backs available. I definitely think that we are one defender short, but anyways, coming to the centre-back pairing for the season, I'm going with the duo of Eder Militao and David Alaba. Militao, as we know, had a splendid end to the previous season. He didn't get many minutes in the first half, but when Real Madrid were down to the bones, when Real Madrid were falling short with injuries and COVID, Eder Militao was handed a chance, and what a great impression he left. He was playing in a way which justified his price tag. He's tall, he's quick-footed. In fact, he's one of the quickest centre-backs in the league, and I distinctly remember towards the end of the season, even the commentators were lavishing praise on the Brazilian. So certainly what we would be expecting is for him to keep growing, keep coming up with impressive performances, and many people who don't watch Madrid regularly may not have seen how Militao was absolutely crucial for Madrid. They don't rate him very highly at the moment, but I truly think if Militao can replicate what he did for Real Madrid under Zinedine Zidane, he will be one of the most sought after defenders. And coming to the other centre-back, David Alaba, we are all aware of his qualities, and he impressed in the preseason and in the first game in La Liga. He looked very confident and played with a lot of personality, and I do see him sticking to that position. In recent times, he has played as centre-back for Bayern Munich, so I am expecting Alaba to continue holding that position. And on his left, he should be accompanied by Ferland Mendy. Mendy, as we know, will surely be starting ahead of Marcelo in the starting 11. He is our best option at the moment. Miguel is also an exciting prospect, but we can be pretty sure when Mendy is fit and ready, when he will have completely recovered from his injuries, he most likely would be a regular fixture in the squad. And the other option here is to take Mendy out of the picture completely. David Alaba will play as left back. We all can agree that attacking wise on the wings, he will be much better than Mendy, and Nacho will form the centre-back duo with Militao. And if we turn our heads to the other side of the pitch, we should be seeing Dani Carvajal occupying the right full-back position. Carvajal and Ancelotti seem to share a good rapport. They have mutual admiration for each other, and Carvajal should be starting ahead of Odriozola and Vasquez. And I do think this will be a very important season for Carvajal. Last year, he couldn't play many games. He used to constantly stay on the sidelines, picking one injury after another. So staying fit will be the biggest challenge for Dani Carvajal. He has recently signed his contract extension, and now that he has been rewarded by the club, he has to contribute towards the betterment of the side. So that, as you see, is the preferred defensive setup. And now if we talk about the things in the middle of the park, we do have options here. Ancelotti can mix and match things. He has the experience at his disposal, world-class players who have won it all, but he also has some top-quality youngsters at his disposal. So I definitely think that Ancelotti will enforce some rotations in the middle of the park, not just in terms of personnel, but also in terms of tactics. I do have a feeling at this point that we will be seeing him use the 4-4-2 formation, but in the big games, we will be reverting to the 4-3-3. The first man in the middle should be Carlos Casemiro. He would be doing his defensive duties, putting in some challenges. He would be shielding the defense, and what we saw last season from Casemiro was that from time to time he was forced to come out of his position and help us out offensively. He scored some crucial goals as well, but this, as we know, was mainly due to the inability of the attackers to be clinical in front of goal, and as a consequence, Casemiro was forced to join an attack, but what that effectively effectively ensured was that we had one less body to help us deal with the counters, and Madrid were caught out a few times as well. So what I'm hoping this year is that Casemiro isn't forced to join the attack. He does a fantastic job clearing the danger in defense. He cuts out any attack if it has the potential to be menacing, and Casemiro can only focus on his task only if the attackers offer more than what they did in the previous season. And coming to Toni Kroos, he surely will start on the left. There's nothing much to say about him. He will keep sniping for the team. He will keep getting those assists, and hopefully we will see him getting goals from outside the box, somewhat similar to this. But on the other end, things can become very interesting. I feel that this will be a season where Valverde would transition into a full-fledged starter in the side. Modric is a joy to watch, but seeing that this will be his last season with Madrid, we may get to see him playing a secondary role. And yes, Valverde and Modric are different players. One is more reliant on power and pace, the other is more on technique and precision. So it's more like Ancelotti will pick and choose in which game he'll require Modric, in which game he'll require Valverde. Also, Modric can be rotated with Kroos, and we'll probably see some of the Casilla boys filling in to bring their youthful energy in the side. And coming to the final department of the team, the attack, the area where we have been terribly failing for the past 2 seasons, the goals have dried up, and we have been reliant on literally one man for goals, and the quality that Karim Benzema brings makes him an automatic starter in the side. It would be another season where he'll have to carry the responsibility of giving us crucial goals, but this time round, I have a feeling that Benzema will have a better supporting cast. Gareth Bale is looking set to impress under Ancelotti. Eden Hazard as well is set to make a mark. So ideally, I do think the trio of Bale, Benzema and Hazard is a very good trio to go with. Both Hazard and Gareth Bale would love to have an injury-free season, and if they can manage to do that, we may as well have our very own lethal trio. Or possibly, can we have an even better one? Will we be seeing the BBM? If you add Mbappe there on the side, the trio up front looks absolutely frightening, and it will definitely tear apart any defense in any league and in any competition. So let's see how the final days of the transfer window pan out. I don't want to raise your hopes only to make you feel disappointed in the end, but as we know, anything can happen in football. Real Madrid should keep trying till the final minute of the transfer market. But coming back to the more realistic starting 11, this should be the one which we are most likely to see, and in the big games, I think Real Madrid will line up in this way. And moving to the arch rivals, in our very own backyard, Atletico Madrid, the champions of Spain, have the major task of defending the crown, and many football analysts at this point of time expect Atletico to defend the title, and why not? They have a good squad, they have added some good players, the ruggedness of Simeone's side is still going to be there, and above the strongest Atletico Madrid 11, you have Jan Oblak in goal, widely recognized as one of the best keepers in the world, and who are we kidding? We have seen this guy, he has been magnificent between the sticks for Atletico. In the past season, he came up with some sensational saves, and I expect him to continue doing the same. In defense, I think again Simeone will fancy the 3-man defense with 2 wing backs. Savic, Hermoso and Jimenez are going to be the starting centre back. They're pretty tenacious in the way of playing, and you know Simeone, he emphasizes so much on the defensive aspect of the game. It demands the maximum out of the defenders, and there's no reason why this year they should be any different. In the wing back position, Kieran Trippier should be starting as right wing back. He was a very important part of the team before he received a ban at mid-season point, but before the ban, he was an important attacking source for Atletico. He had a lot of presence in the right wing, and he was a major contributor towards Atletico playing attractive football. And on the left, there is a bit of confusion regarding the availability of Saul Niguez. Is he going to stay, or would he be leaving? Earlier in the summer, we were expecting him to be involved in a swap deal with Barca, but that failed to go through. We know Saul is a good player, but maybe his role in the side wasn't certain when Simeone changed to the 3-5-2 formation. He played in multiple positions and was a bit uncomfortable at times, but as we saw in the game against Celta, he was the one who put in the brilliant pass for Angel Correa, which he subsequently sorted past the keeper for the second and the match-winning goal. So Saul Niguez has the quality, and if he stays, he will be starting on the left, and if indeed he ends up leaving, Yannick Carrasco shall fill in the void. And coming to the midfield, I am expecting this trio to weave the strings in the middle. There's going to be Koke, who is the leader for Atletico. Alongside him, Rodrigo de Paul, the new kid in the block. He should be making his presence felt in the starting 11. With Argentina, he was a vital part of the success, so it's quite understandable why Atletico Madrid fans are excited about this signing. He can be a nasty player, he can be creative, he can be used as a double pivot, and it would be interesting to see how Simeone decides to use him. And in the attacking midfield role, Marc Marcos Llorente, he should be the primary chance creator for his side. He has the pace, he has the control, he gives you goals. So it's going to be another season where Atleti will need him to be at his best. And finally in attack, Simeone has the options in Suarez, Correa, and João Felix. I do expect Suarez to be given a breather from time to time. At this age, he can't be playing day in, day out. João Felix and Angel Correa should get the job done in a few matches, but in the big game, Suarez should be back in the side. Atletico will need his lethal touch in front of goal, and alongside him, it will be one of João Felix and Angel Correa. So this, as you see, is a decent squad. It's got some good players, and what kind of football will we see from Atleti this time round? Will it be pragmatic? Will it be attacking? The following few weeks shall reveal that. And finally, coming to our eternal rivals, FC Barcelona. There's a lot of positivity in the Barca camp after the 4-2 victory against Sociedad, and rightly so. They showed some good quality football, but the defensive issues were again on show. In the final 10 minutes of the game, they got a bit relaxed, got a bit casual, and almost got Sociedad back in the game, and I think this is the biggest issue that Barcelona have to address. They have to find a solution about how to keep the defense turned on for the entire 90 minutes, and over the years we have seen Barcelona defense concede many goals and getting knocked out of the Champions League in shambolic manner. So can they fix the leaky defense this time round? Ronald Koeman will have to cook something special, cause in goal there's going to be Ter Stegen, who himself had a subdued season in the previous campaign. The centre-back duo of Gerard Piqué and Clement Longley looks quite error-prone, so can we possibly see Eric Garcia replacing Longley in the side? Ronald Araujo, that's another option that we should be keeping an eye on. Jordi Alba should continue on the left, and on the right it may be Serginho Dest or Emerson Royal. Emerson being the more mature of the two, but for the sake of our convenience, let's keep Dest in the starting 11, and I do think that if Barca can fix their backline, they can surmount a decent title challenge. In the past years, they have seen some defensive catastrophes, but will that change this time round? We shall find out very soon. And coming to the midfield, Sergio Busquets, Frenkie de Jong and Pedri Gonzalez should be the midfield trio. Busquets had some good games in the previous season. Frenkie de Jong, he's someone from whom Barca fans have huge expectations. He has done well, but I still think he needs to take another step up. And lastly, Pedri Gonzalez. This man, or rather we should say this boy, had an absolutely exhausting season. One of the most used players by Koeman, was a regular in the Spain squad during the Euros, and then he went to the Olympics as well. And I'm just hoping that Barca don't burn him out completely, because he's too young a player and he needs to be protected. And talking about the middle, this season the midfielders need to take care of the creative aspect of things. Without Messi, we know it's going to be a bit difficult, because Messi wasn't just providing goals, he was the primary chance creator in the side. He was the one making some unbelievable passes and through balls for the attackers, so it's going to be quite a challenge to attain that level of creativity. And lastly, the attack, Memphis Depay and Antoine Griezmann should be the main attackers, but along with the two, who's it going to be? Will it be Aguero, Braithwaite, maybe Felipe Coutinho, or can it be Ansu Fati? And many seem to forget him, because he was literally out for the whole season with injury. But if you remember, before that, Ansu Fati was making headlines for Barca. He became the youngest goal scorer. Even with Spain, he was the one making headlines. So Ansu Fati possibly can be a wild card for Ronald Koeman. If he can recover the level he had before the injury, things can be very interesting in attack for Barca. So these are the lineups of the top three sides in Spain, and yes, we have seen some great players leaving, but there's still a lot to look forward to. There's still some great players left in the league, and probably in a year or two we will be seeing some young and high profile players joining La Liga. But for the time being, let's see how the 2021-22 season shapes up. And as for Madrid, I think the squad is good. Obviously we would have liked some additions, but this side is still competitive, and you talk about the previous season with 60 injuries, we came close to clinching the La Liga title. So I definitely think that Madrid will give in their all. The fitness condition of the players will be much better than what we had in the previous season. The 60 injuries fiasco cannot be repeated. And as for the Champions League verdict, for the moment, I'm not going to look too far into the future. I want to see how this side would go about their business in La Liga. Can they build on the first victory? Can they continue to maintain good intensity? I personally would like to see how Ancelotti manages a squad in the coming months before giving my Champions League verdict. But what we can be assured of is that there will be no shortage of drama. There will be some outstanding players enhancing the stock in football, and hopefully Ancelotti will guide Madrid to a few trophies. So that is all I have here. Do let me know, what do you make of the top three sides in the league? A respectable mention to Sevilla as well, who again would be the dark horse in this season. And ladies and gentlemen, let's gear up for another season of thrills and spills. There'll be plenty more analysis on the channel, but for the moment, I will appreciate your thoughts in the comments below. I will see you tomorrow for the match preview of the second La Liga game, but till then, take care, glory to Madrid, and as always, a la Madrid!